Hey, here it is, everyone. The College Football Week 14 rankings show. The top 25 is revealed as from a few hours ago. I'm just playing it back from one of the videos, posted earlier. That's the biggest question. Where are the Gophers really going to be at, as Herbie says? I really like what he said there. It's going to be such a big game Saturday. Wisconsin, Minnesota, for the West. It just started. Our top 25. Our 25th team, Appalachian State at 10-1. They went down one after being 24th last week. Virginia Tech went up one ranking to 24th. Iowa State went down to 23 after being 22 last week. USC went up to 22 after being 23rd last week. Oklahoma State stays aboard at 21 and stable.
Also seeing those two Big 12 teams, Oklahoma State, of course, playing Oklahoma this week. Another feather in Oklahoma's cap potentially.
So those really aren't surprises there. It's just the last of the 25. The top 10 is what's really going to be interesting. Even the top 15. Michigan's in the top 15 vote, so we'll really see what they are going into the big week. Oh, I see they're in the top 15. They continue to be. So they'll have big wins at the Big House against Notre Dame and Iowa, both of them, and they're standing right next door to each other. Iowa's now at 17 at 8-3, and Notre Dame's at 9, remains at 16, and they didn't move up at all. None of these teams moved up actually. Boise State remains at 20. Cincinnati 10-1 remains at 19, and Memphis at 18th remains at 18th at 10-1. And as everybody's talking about, 19 versus 18, Memphis and Cincinnati are playing. That's going to be really a big matchup. It'll decide which team goes to the really big New Year's Six bowl game. They would be the only Mid-American non-Power 5 team representing in the New Year's Six bowl. So keep that in mind when watching games this weekend.
Notre Dame sitting at 16, another Big Ten team in Iowa at 17. Let's continue to climb. Auburn will try.
Michigan State at 13. The Badgers are at 12. Florida at 9-2 is at 11. Oregon dropped 8 spots to 14. That is so crazy. That's what losing to Arizona State does. It really does, because Arizona State wasn't even getting into a bowl game. Last Saturday was their statement. It truly was the statement of the season. Auburn is at 15 at 8-3, so it'll be a 15th, and they'll be 15th in the nation going into the Iron Bowl Saturday. So nothing changed there. Penn State is down 2 rankings, so that's interesting that they're fully down to 10th.
After falling to Ohio State. Herbie, I see you nodding there. What was your reaction? Penn State just falling a couple of spots.
See what Kirk thinks here.
I just go back to the first initial rankings. This committee threw a curveball for some when they had them up in the top 4 and Clemson at 5. They clearly like this team, and even despite another loss to Ohio State, they fought valiantly. And I think the committee recognizes that, dropping them down, keeping them in the top 10.
That'll probably get them in the Cotton Bowl or something, depending on what the committee decides later on.
Baylor goes up 5 spots. You almost wonder if this is an adjustment.
Baylor went up 5 spots. That's probably from Oregon losing. Wow. And they're going into their conference championship game, potentially even being in the top 6, which is huge. The Big 12 title game I'm talking, because them and Oklahoma will face in the finals of the rematch of 2 weeks ago to decide the Big 12.
So I agree, it's a bit of a market correction, if you would, from the committee for Baylor.
Well, Maria Bartolome jumping in here to help out too, just ahead of Baylor at number 8.
Minnesota is up 2 spots at 8. They're far more deserving because they beat Penn State at TCF, and they have the huge matchup, as mentioned earlier, against the Badgers. And I think they're easily deserving of the PJ Flex squad. Congrats to them. Good luck against the Badgers. On Wisconsin though in that one.
Just looking ahead to Selection Day, doesn't that create all kinds of delicious possibilities?
That creates a lot of deluxe, as Reese Davis says. It's very true.
others has looked like the most complete team from start to finish.
I love watching this crew though. The ESPN crew is the best, especially these analyzers. Like my favorite. Oklahoma bumped up 2 spots after beating TCU and especially with them coming back on Baylor 28-3. That's just too impressive not to put them up. So, wow, we have some drama folding for you guys, folks.
Doesn't that create all kinds of delicious possibilities if you have Minnesota in the mix and Ohio State, at least to my eyes and many others, has looked like the most complete team from start to finish this season. Just ahead of PJ Fleck's team, ranked at number 7, is Oklahoma. So Oklahoma up a couple of spots, Joey.
Yeah, and not a surprise. And Oklahoma's played in some close football games, but they still continue to win. Jalen Hurts had looked like the early season Jalen Hurts, but one thing is he is steady and he makes plays, and so that is interesting. And if I'm the Big 12, I'm celebrating right
Sure
now.
agree. Sure agree.
That is
Big 12 has 2 top 10 teams. That's really big for when that conference championship game happens. It's going to be very well viewed. Probably at 11 a.m. start time. It's actually going to be very popular because of that.
It's just a reflection that the committee doesn't have respect for the Big 12.
Let's just skip through this.
I think it'd be hard for the committee personally.
This is the new Nest Mini. Hey Google, play Sirius XM.
To move Oklahoma eventually past Utah into that 4th spot.
Okay, let's look at the rest of the rankings from the College Football Playoff Rankings and Selection Committee, and we'll start at number 1.
Number 1, I saw this on Twitter tonight, but the Ohio State Buckeyes will be number 1. Michigan will be facing the number 1 team in the nation at the Big House. This is the biggest shocker because LSU beat Alabama. I do not know how they're not number 1.
Yeah, I could see it both ways. I think you could have watched that game against Penn State and said, well, they were a bit sloppy on offense. They turned it over 3 times. Justin Fields fumbles going into the end zone, but even still won by double digits against the then number 8 team. And you said it, Reese, this week in, week out has looked.
The other fact, though, is that they did beat Penn State. Penn State almost came back in the game to win it. They were up 21-0. Penn State kind of made the game after a while, but still a statement victory that they beat a top 10 Big 10 team. Now they beat 2 top 15 teams and 3 top 25 teams because Cincinnati's 18th in the nation. So I'll take that part.
And I think when you look at
I give the committee that for sure.
LSU has a better strength of record and they're 10 spots ahead in the strength of schedule. From LSU, I'm wondering what else could we have possibly done with this schedule. Now, I wouldn't take game rank number 2 as a slap in the face.
No, it's not.
But when you
I agree.
change from
Exactly.
1 to number 2, that's how people look at things. Like you're saying that we have now not looked as good, I guess, in our season that people thought. But again, if you look at the analytics, which I don't like to, but if you do, LSU's wondering what happened.
It would take me 6 years until we come around a little bit
Yeah, I'm not
on these analytics. There is a problem with slipping to number 2. Jesse's touched on it, and here it is. If it is
Clemson remains at 3.
Clemson in the semifinal.
No surprise, they don't play anyone. It's going to come down to the ACC championship game. If they lose either of these last 2 games, they are out of the playoffs.
And if you're LSU,
And that's just the way it is when you're an ACC type of conference.
You're the national
Yeah,
champion.
not only
You're the best team
that
in
is
the country.
you're an all-timer.
Yeah,
If you win those, you've been all-time champion.
Will the Dogs get number 4? Will Utah get it? We'll find out. Georgia remains at 4.
Hey, look, the Bulldogs offense, they're the mid-sized rental of offenses, kind of shaky steering. There's a bad smell in the car, but they end up getting you where you need to go.
I think that's the right call. And then you have 2 of the teams still meeting up in the SEC championship.
Offense is not sexy. It's okay. They don't
Georgia and
wanna be sexy.
LSU.
They want to play complementary football. So you look at
They'll still meet up at the same if they both respectively get wins this Saturday.
Georgia's going to be a tough out for anybody, regardless of how much they're doing on the offensive side.
All right, let's look at 5 and 6 and see if Utah's overtaken Alabama again.
Alabama remains at 5.
Now Tua Tagovailoa will go to Auburn this week. All of this
And then Utah will stay at 6 too. So
at number 6, big game against Colorado this week.
they did not move up, but they're gonna have a big one against Colorado for sure. Just because it decides that they stay in the playoff field. If Colorado upsets them in Utah, they'll definitely be out of it. So there's your top 6 if you guys need a repeat. And then another view of the top of the other teams in the top 25.
Noteworthy possibility because it's another ACC.
There's the first. Give you guys a few seconds on that. There you go.
In terms of winning out their final 2 games for these ranked Group of 5 opponents, Boise State.
And then 20 through 16 too. Even though I mentioned this earlier, it's for whoever missed the beginning of the video, you can scroll through the end if you want to. We would like to. Yep.
Here's the climb. Auburn will try
And then
to
now there's 15 through 11. That did not change other than Oregon sliding 8 spots. And then this is your last
knock
view.
Alabama out of any hope.
Once I get it here.
That is huge for early season Jalen Hurts. But one,
And that's your last for the top 25. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Picks will be delayed to tomorrow because I really just wanted to show you guys what the rankings are for going into the big week 14 for rivalry week. I'm like a little kid at the candy store right now. I cannot wait. 1 versus 13 at the big house. Let's go. Like, subscribe, and comment, and see you all next time on the Ed Sports Hub YouTube channel.